singer is Ray Wilson, who comes from a band called Stiltskin.
It has a sort of power and a passion that not all singers have.
Can anybody tell me?
Ray came down and he was very, very confident the first day, and I think impressed us. He sang some of the old songs, and it really worked.
The day I auditioned for Genesis was quite nerve-wracking, to be honest, because obviously the fact that they'd approached me in the first place was quite bizarre, but to actually be there in the studios and singing old Genesis classics was really quite an experience, and I think I was very nervous, but in many respects it kind of helped. It helped me sing the songs better and with more conviction, to be honest with you, because the kind of adrenaline kept me pumped up for it.
Send me to the Congo, you have to believe you can do it if you wanna, just do what you please.
When Ray came on board, first of all, it took a little while to just get an idea as to how his voice was going to fit in the sound, and that made the album, I think, a little slower than normal. But once you hear the kind of voice you've got, I think it pushed us into a slightly more dramatic area. The album's a bit rockier and a bit darker, a bit more like old Genesis, really, I think. Sometimes you can imagine a voice singing songs you write, and sometimes you can't. Ray came down, in fact, on the very first day. He kind of auditioned him, just singing some old stuff originally.
Yeah, we were improvising stuff, and he just sang along, and just the way the voice fitted with the music and the chords, and the sort of things that came to him naturally, like the things we really felt we could use, and that's a real asset.
But I don't think that's really true.
It seemed like forever waiting to get a reply once I'd auditioned, because I think there was something like 6 weeks before I did the second audition, but it kind of felt like 6 months. And to be honest, I think that I wasn't convinced I had the job anyway after doing the first audition, for whatever reason. And it seemed like quite a long wait, but worth it in the long run.
You say that I put chains on you, but I don't think that's really true. But if you wanna be free from me, you gotta lose me in another world. Send me to the Congo, I'm free to leave. There's always somewhere anybody can leave. Send me to the Congo, you have to believe you can do it if you wanna, just do what you please.
Here we are, Tony and I in the same band for many years, let's not add it up, and suddenly are faced with a new challenge, and you have to kind of reinvent yourself a little bit. And I think at our stage in our career, that's quite an exciting thing.
I'm helpless and alone, drifting out to sea. I can't believe what you said to me, even standing on the corner of a busy city street.
We're pleased with the new album because it's been obviously a harder album to make, the new singer and a new drummer as well. I think the feeling that we look at it, the way we look at it now, is that it feels to us like a Genesis record. Obviously it's different because of a different voice.
I'm shipwrecked. I might as well be shipwrecked.
I think for Tony and I, the reason for carrying on really was because we enjoy writing together. It's as simple as that, and we have done from the very start. You don't look for a change, obviously, but when it happens, having been here before, when Peter left, you turn it to your advantage, and I think you obviously new forces come into play. There's a new singer, new drummer, new guitarist on tour. The whole thing becomes a lot fresher.
I'm a million miles from anywhere. Where can I be? Somewhere out on the ocean. Just take a look on the horizon. What can you see? There's nothing there for me. I feel shipwrecked. I might as well be shipwrecked.
I think Phil left because I think being in a group is always a compromise. I think we accept that. And there comes a time when the compromise you have to make suddenly isn't worth what you have to go through.
I, in a way, was surprised he stayed with us as long as he did. I mean, he's got such a successful solo career, independent of the group. It must be very seductive to constantly want to go to that, so you can follow your own ideas right the way through.
And the pressure of, in fact, of going from solo Phil Collins to Genesis back to back does become a problem. It makes your sort of workload very hard, and you almost feel you're on a train you can't get off. And I think I should add that it's a very amicable departure.
Calling all stations. Can anybody tell me exactly where I am? How different things look when you're on your own. Watching the darkness closing all around me, all around me.
Settled in with the guys very quickly. They kind of made the whole job easy, and it was really a relaxed atmosphere. Mike and Tony are very laid back, very professional, and they've just obviously gone through the recording process so many times, and we just seemed to get on well, and it just felt really normal from the word go.
We were doing a live Genesis web chat where the band answer questions that have been sent in by fans from all around the world.
Most asked question, obviously, this version of it came from Nick Rose. When did you know that the new singer would fit better than the others who auditioned?
The first song he sang was actually No Son of Mine. And from the moment he sang the first line, I think we felt he was... It moved us. It sent a shiver down our spines.
My own musical background, I got involved with music when I was at school. My older brother, Steve, was playing in a band at school, and I kind of looked up and envied him somewhat, and to cut a long story short, eventually got involved with one of the school bands and performed at school. And I think from the very first time, the first time I was on stage, I'd played to about 1,200 kids. So it was really quite an experience to be 14 playing to that kind of audience. And I just loved it. I felt made for it. And I moved to Edinburgh and got involved with a band called Guaranteed Pure. We did our own band and worked together for about 4 years. Then Stiltskin came along. Obviously had a kind of massive success with them over a very short period of time. The largest venue I played was to about 50,000 people, which was Park Pop in Holland, actually, which was, I think, in hindsight, looking back, it was a good thing because it prepared me for this, to work with Genesis. It's been a good schooling, if you like.
Even standing on the corner of a busy city street, I still feel so lonely. Why'd you say you wanna be with me, but the next day say you don't? I'm shipwrecked.
Shipwreck was a song that I suppose in a sense recorded itself very quickly. It came from a sort of sped down bit of guitar sample that Tony took. And the lyric, I think, which is quite important, is quite applicable to today. It's about the fact that you can be in a very crowded room surrounded by people and still feel very lonely.
Without you I feel shipwrecked, but I can't let it show.
Once upon a time, there was a pond covered with ice. The children who played on it were perfectly safe so long as they followed 3 simple rules. 1, take an adult with you. 2, wait till he's tested the ice. 3, keep away from the centre where the ice is thinnest. As for the children who didn't follow these 3 rules, some of them were never heard of again. So the good children who were left made very certain that there was always a grown-up with them, that he tested the ice first, that they kept near the shore, and as a result, they lived happily ever after.